Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, and knock, knock, knock. Here we are. What do these tea leaves have to say tonight? Oh my goodness, it is so late for me. I've rarely done readings this late. It's getting on to be about midnight. We went out to the fair today and got home super late, so getting on in hours here. So our card for the night is the Six of Swords. This has to do with science, labor, work, intelligence, your goals realized through planning and, using those brains of yours to kind of navigate through and get everything where it needs to be, right? So what's going on? What is going on? What is going on? And really, I'm interested in these three figures here. And actually, this one looks like two figures. So this is interesting, actually. I see a person standing here with their arm up and they're holding what looks like maybe a child, okay? And it feels very like holding it way high above their head. Maybe playing like when you play airplane, when they're really young. And just they get a kick out of being up there, getting held up high. And so I feel like this is almost kind of a sense of being really in your mind a lot. I feel like you are kind of trying to, like the sense of trying to hold yourself above everything else that's going on. There's like a sense of uncertainty, at least perceived uncertainty. Like you're being plagued with anxieties. It really feels like in the lower realm in your life, you just have hit this period of time where everything feels really chaotic to you. You're anxious about things. I feel like it's almost bordering on like panic attacks, feeling kind of incapacitated by this anxiety. And here it's like looking for distractions, trying to use your techniques, your, mindfulness, really indulging in like different forms of media, maybe, whatever your hobbies or whatever, you're trying to figure out what is it that's going to help me get through this. Okay. And it just feels like you just can't really get a hold of it yet. Okay. I see we have a hummingbird who's kind of, sitting here. We have the beak right here, the little wings. And so a hummingbird not in motion, still going a million miles per hour in their mind, right? But kind of really landed right now, which there's just, an abundance of energy that is not being used. And so I think this kind of adds to this feeling of anxiety you have going on, right? So what are we going to do about that? Now we have two footprints right here. And I feel like, well, that term baby steps comes to mind. But what I do think is really, really helpful in these kinds of situations. Outside of the actual kind of having panic attacks, I know that is just, you know, physically you are taken over. Those are hard to get through. I used to have them a lot when I was younger, and thankfully not as much now. But in the greater sense of these anxieties, feeling a little bit like you don't have a good grasp on how you're feeling about your life right now, maybe even just how things are going in your life. Now, setting manageable goals and meeting them. I know this is like silly, probably like, oh, okay, that's like pop psychology stuff. But, you know, maybe because it actually, there's something to it. I really think that when we just set up little goals for us to meet every day, take out the trash. Well, let's start from the beginning. Wake up. Get out of bed. Make the bed. Do our, you know, brush our teeth. Clean ourselves up. Take out the trash. You know, whatever it is. These little goals. And it doesn't have to be a ton of them. I mean, maybe that's all. Maybe you just stop there. Maybe that's as far as you can get. And then the next day you add on one more goal. And so on and so on and so on. And through this journey of, you know, planning, setting goals, meeting the goals, we find that we are very involved, intentionally involved in our own lives, in the progress of our lives. It's not just random stuff happening all the time. At least we're perceiving it not to be. If things happen, we know what we should be doing. Hopefully we're getting to a place where we have a plan, right? But more than that, it's just you stay focused on the things that you know you can do. And it feels good to get things done. And hey, maybe you are like a really high functioning type A, like amazing at everything person, and this is ridiculous. Like, what is this lady talking about? Well, the rest of us down here, you know, the you know, peasants of the world or whatever, a lot of us have trouble some days just getting through the dang thing. Finding the motivation, finding the will, mustering up, you know, even just the energy. If you have ever had a blue period or deep depression, you know, sometimes it's just ridiculous to think you're even going to take out the trash. I fully understand that. You know, it just, things do not mean as much at all. Just basic stuff. So I think that, you know, through this process, and here, I like this image here. We have a person who's kind of at this gateway. It looks like a door maybe. And then on the other side, we have some kind of bird. Okay, it's not in flight, but it looks like it could be. It also looks like a bird here, and then here, a ship. Okay, so I feel like as the fog of this thing that you're going through is starting to lift, and maybe, listen, maybe also, and this should be said, maybe nothing in particular has happened. Maybe this is just part of the cycle of how your brain works. Maybe you go through periods of this kind of existential dread, anxieties, you know, general anxiety, social anxiety, just fears of living and so on. Okay? A lot of us do. And I think more and more people talk about it, and that's important. Because you're not alone. Nothing has to happen. I mean, it really just, sometimes we just wake up and it's just there. No rhyme or reason. But as you are working on these goals, kind of on your own tiny mini hero's journey. Oh, hi, Pudgy. Come on. Come see me. Hi, buddy. You look so tired. Come see me. Come on. I know. You're saying, why aren't you in bed, Mom? Huh. Well, I'm still doing some readings here. So, as you're on this little mini hero's journey, right? The fog is lifting. You're meeting your goals. The anxiety, the worry, the pessimism starting to dissipate. And I see you're just about to pass through this doorway, this gateway, onto the next thing, the new cycle. We have the bird, full spirit, creativity, daydreaming, intellectual pursuits. And then we have the boat. You're about to set sail. Okay. It's there. It's right around the corner. You just have to hang on. Take just, one step at a time. I know somebody on here, and I hope you're listening. Somebody on here said, because I mentioned I'm in recovery, and somebody said, I can tell by the language you use, the phrases. Yeah. So yeah, I do. I know. I try to, mask it a little bit, but I do. It's worked for me. So I have all these cliches and sayings and whatever kind of the jargon is very alive in my mind, and I catch myself. I'm like, okay, and now I sound like I'm at a meeting a little bit, but really taking it day by day. Allowing yourself to go about your path. And there is success after the anxiety. There is. You just have to apply some kind of method through it, a plan through it. Keep to it so it doesn't you don't get lost in the spiral of things. Something that happens, I think, a lot when we have a lot of anxieties and fears about the world and about our lives, and it can easily become kind of paranoia, right? But we also find things that verify our beliefs. So this happened. The whole medical stuff online that we can look it up, and I'm as guilty as anybody else, but we look up the things, our symptoms, our fears. We're just have so much anxiety. We know something is sick about us, something, and it's probably really serious. In our minds, we're saying this to ourselves. So we get on the old internets and we type in our symptoms and things, and then we find something that's going to help verify our belief. And will it? It will. It's going to immediately, probably. So we have to be mindful of that. We're gonna seek out, even if it is subconsciously, things that are going to verify the anxiety. Why are we anxious? well, you should be, right? We're going to look for reasons to be. So just, keep it in your mind. Focus on those goals, on those things that you're doing, the tasks at hand. Now, I see here standing up on this beautiful, beautiful, it looks kind of like, a cliff. Looking out, enjoying the view, right? I think just a moment of serenity. Now this could go the wrong way, right? We're talking about all these things, these feelings, and then, being up here, looking out. But forget all of that, please. I think really it's so much about just taking in the glory of the natural world around you, the wonders of man around you, looking for a way to express your gratitude, finding little reasons to be like, wow, that's amazing. I do that all day, honestly. I think about, there's so many things that we make as human beings, so many things that must come together for things to kind of work, and it blows my mind. I can't even fathom sometimes how this world kind of everything just kind of fits together in such a way. It's beautiful and it's terrifying, right? Let's see. Yeah, so we have a person with their hair blowing. They're kind of looking out. And behind them, it looks like a person wearing a dress or some kind of robe, but they have a cow's head. Very much the mother goddess, Hathor, definitely. And I feel like she is, kind of just right there holding you as you face the future, face the beauty, the terrible, all of it together. You are held and loved and coveted and sacred and divine and holy and all of the things. You are no mistake. So you must live accordingly. Please, honor yourself. Find a way to. That there's no right way, no wrong way, but you have to find what is meaningful for you. And I think that you're more than capable. Of course, you're Scorpio. Okay, let's see. So we have my last reading. We had just the singular thing. This one though has some little residue here, some little things flying around there, just kind of doing their thing. But I think that, again, like my last reading with this singular thing, focus on one thing that really makes you feel at ease, content. Find that focus. If it's meditation, intentional movement, a hobby that's beloved to you, creating, singing, dancing, watching television, whatever it is, something that feels like it transports you, that you can get into the flow of it. Look for that thing while you're going through some of this more difficult stuff. Do not completely succumb to it, though. Do not make this your crutch, but make it part of the thing that kind of helps you when your mind feels like it's ramping up into those, you know, anxiety things. To me, in my brain, when I feel like it's gotten better, but like I'm diagnosed with both social anxiety and general anxiety. And they're they're symptoms of, you know, other things like PTSD and stuff. But for me, when it starts to like really ramp up, I feel like I'm getting rigid, but also in my mind, it feels like there's like a ball of yarn that's like a static or something. And it's just, you know, flying around. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's coming on, you know? And so, that, you know, that's especially go and take a shower, you know, kind of go outside, breathing, deep breathing, you know, whatever you think of them or not. I really am interested in the Wim Hof technique, the cold exposure, but the breathing as well, right? They have really helpful breathing apps and what are they called? Like apnea counting apps and stuff for breath holding and that kind of stuff. Really maybe worth looking into if you are inclined to doing some kind of breath work. Okay, that's very helpful. It really, you know, it really is. It's interesting how much it changes our body, like how our body feels, how our mind feels. Quite literally, I feel like my blood pressure goes down when I'm, you know, and listen, this is anecdotal. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional, but it should not replace any other kind of medical stuff that you're doing, of course. But, you know, the breathing really does. It brings down anxiety and yes. So anyways, I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm here at the channel, and we know the algorithm kind of decides everything. So if you are watching the video, the reading from the beginning to the end, that's really helpful. Sharing the video link on different social medias. Of course, you don't have to do any of this, but I will mention it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. We just hit 14K, so thank you to each and every one of you. This channel would be nothing without you, obviously. You all are the real stars here, and the community that is emerging, a beautiful thing. I so enjoy so many of you, your personalities, your energies, your stories, and if you want to leave a comment, please think about doing that. I try to get back to them as soon as I can. Sometimes it's a little bit busy, and yeah, I end up having to do my readings at 11:45 at night or whatever. So, this might be a time when I'm a little bit behind on some of my comments, but I like to read them and really feel them and have a meaningful response, from my heart. So thank you. I appreciate you so much. I can't wait to go to bed here in a minute. And we will talk again really soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you.